TOEIC speaking. Okay. All right. Tag some people here. I took a long nap before the show, so I'm in very good condition today. Oops. Okay. All right. I think I have everybody there. So hello, Suhyun. Welcome to the show. Hello, Taeyeon. Okay, I'll be waiting for more. Okay, Dui Mei Van. Hello. Thank you for joining. Pikachu's here. Hello. 유림님 안녕하세요. My eye. Is that how I should read your name? Hello. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on the show. Okay. I'm introducing my bangs today. Hello, Huan, Shu Huan, Xuan Huan. Is that how I should read your name? Patrice Chen, hello. Welcome to the show. Ulugvek, hello. Thank you for joining. I'm going to open up my carbonated water. Hope it doesn't burst. Okay, safe. Nice, Felicio. You're coming from Brazil. Thank you for joining. 안녕하세요, 진학님. Pleasure to join. Pleasure's mine. Ah, that is so refreshing. I got my carbonated water here. Trevi. Gosh. I've been shooting videos from 10 a.m. this morning. And before 10 a.m., I met up with my friend on Zoom, Tadashi Akimoto, because he's going to be coming to Korea soon. And he's going to be taking TOEIC speaking test here in Seoul with me. So I was helping him register for the test to take that test in Korea. I'm going to scoot a little bit to the side. Okay, and Sean, hi teacher, this is my first time joining this class. Well, thank you for coming. Harry, hello. Hello, thank you for complimenting. Vi, hi, hi, yes. And Dewey, my Van, you're so pretty today, beautiful. Well, you know what? My team had a little complaint about my hairstyle last time, you know, like my real curly hairstyle last time that I had on the show. So today, I decided to go with the straightened hair and I got my bangs out. And actually, when I first got my bangs, I had this hate already on the first day. But then, you know, I sort of like try to reveal it more often to people now. So I don't know. Like, you know, it's always like troublesome to have your bangs less greasy towards the end of the day. And since it's already 8 p.m., I've been having these bangs for almost like more than 12 hours. So it's getting greasier. But hopefully it'll stay in place. Oh, damn. That is so refreshing. Okay. All right, I think we have a lot of people coming up on the show today. Hi, Tadashi. You're right. My day is really long today. I was able to take a nap for 2 hours though before the show. Yeah, the thing like that I was working on finished around like 4 p.m. So I ate something and then I took 2 hours nap and then I'm finally here for the live show. Okay. So everybody, it's the 27th of October, which is the last Friday of this month. And next week, we'll be having Halloween. And in Korea, I think things are a little more calm this year because, you know, last year we had some unfortunate incident, an accident actually, in a place called Itaewon, which is a very, very famous place for foreigners and also among the locals. I think they're gonna have small gatherings here and there at small bars and clubs, but I don't think they're gonna go all like, public, promoting those events. But yeah, like overall, it's pretty calm. Like about around this time of the year, people are like doing lots of promotions using the Halloween theme. But this year, we're pretty much staying pretty calm. Yeah. And Teiji, yes, you came to Seoul exactly 3 months ago. It's been already 3 months. Wow, crazy. Time flies. That's what people say. Okay. Well, let's get right into the show. And I'm going to have part 1 appear on the screen here. And I'm going to give you guys to have a look at it. And people are saying that part 1 is getting harder and harder these days. And that's how I feel too. They're using some words that could be a little bit tricky or harder for beginners to read. And I feel the same with 2 passages that I prepared for today, but it is what it is. That's what they appeared on the test. So I guess we'll have to get ready for them, right? Let me read this passage for you guys first. Good morning and welcome to Danton Village. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the volunteers, organizations, and sponsors who have come together to make this event possible. Now, let's put on our work gloves, grab our tools, and show the world what the power of community can achieve. Okay, I think I'm not fully woken up. I haven't fully woken up yet. Well, okay, I'm going to try to get clearer. But let's see. The guys, just have a look. Okay. Have a look at the passage and let me know if there are any words that you might want me to tell you how to pronounce them and how you would like to for me to tell you how to read those words. But in my opinion, the word Danton, the name Danton Village could be a little bit not so hard, but challenging for some of you guys, right? It could be Danton. I think some Koreans might read that as Danton, right? Japanese, you guys too, right? But it's Danton, or if you don't want to make that sound like most Americans do when they speak English, it's gonna be Danton, right? But just remember, when there are the T and A located closer to each other, then we tend to say, American English people, people who speak American English, would tend to say not Denton and make that distinguished sound for T, but rather say Danton, okay? So it's either Danton Village or Danton Village, okay? And the word heartfelt. Okay, when I was reading that word, I was thinking about what to say about that word. But when you normally see the T, a lot of Korean students, they want to say that, sound that T aloud. So you guys would say heartfelt, right? But don't say that. Don't make that hard T sound. Rather, just forget about that T sound in the middle, especially when the T is in the middle. Just say heartfelt. Just make a very soft stopping sound, heart, and then just go on with the next pronunciation, which is heartfelt. The next word, gratitude. Also, you can make a softer T sound by saying gratitude. It's more like a D sound there, gratitude, but it can also be gratitude, and you can make the harder T sound. Heartfelt gratitude. Okay? The word volunteer has the stress on the E vowel part. So volunteers. And the word organization has the stress on the fourth syllable, which is organizations. After Z, there's an A, right? So it's got to be organizations. And the word sponsors, we see that very often. And the words event. A lot of Koreans think this word to be said as event, but no, the stress has to come on the second E, which is event, right? I think this passage is trickier to read because of a lot of words have pretty hard, like, stress. It's really hard to distinguish the right stress for each and every word, I think. And work gloves, grab our tools, and show the world what the power of community. The word community also has a very tricky stress, which is community. On that U vowel, community. Community can achieve. Achieve, the stress goes on the I and E part, which is achieve. Achieve. Okay, so I'm going to read this again. In two different versions, as always. Okay, so first one is a slower version. Good morning and welcome to Danton Village. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the volunteers, organizations, and sponsors who have come together to make this event possible. Now, let's put on our work gloves, grab our tools, and show the world what the power of community can achieve. Okay, that was my slower version. And I'm going to go with a more faster version with a softer flow. All right. Good morning and welcome to Danton Village. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the volunteers, organizations, and sponsors who have come together to make this event possible. Now, let's put on our work gloves, grab our tools, and show the world what the power of community can achieve. Okay. Well, either way, you're going to have enough time for part one. I always tell you guys, so you don't have to hurry. Take your time and just try to read through the passage once very confidently. And if you have any time remaining in the end, I tend to just I like to keep on reading. I go to the start of the passage and I just keep on reading again, whether it being twice or a little bit after my third lapse. And then whether I get cut off or not, I don't really care because I already finished my first lap. But if you guys don't feel really comfortable about reading when everybody's just sitting there after finishing their reading, then don't. Okay, you don't have to do it twice or three times because you feel that you have to. But no, that's what I do. Yeah, and some people I get annoyed, can get pretty annoyed about me reading twice or three times, but that's what I do. All right, so Masa, thank you for coming on the show. Hello. And Yin somebody. Hello, Gwen. I just want to thank you for the tutorial and effort you make. I got 170. Wow, that's pretty high. Is there any chance I get to visit you in Korea? That would be great. You know what? Let me know when you come to Korea. So far, 2 Japanese viewers have visited Korea and met me, and they got some coaching from me. So yeah, if you let me know you're going to visit, then I am more than happy to be there for you. I'll be assisting you a little bit. I won't be able to be there full time, but I can help you look around the Gangnam area because I'm always there. Okay. And you can get in touch with me through email first, and then I'm going to let you know my Kakao Talk, ID, and then maybe you can chat over that channel. Isabel, okay, and also my Instagram. You can DM me on Instagram. Isabel Tavora, you're coming from Brazil. I have a lot of viewers from Brazil coming on the show these days. Well, thank you. Okay, and Anthem, hello. You're beautiful. Thank you. I guess my curly hair didn't look pretty last time. Okay, all right, we're going to move on to the second passage. Okay, my second passage, where is it? Okay, here it is. Okay, so have a look at the second passage. All right. The second passage, I think, is harder than the first one. It depends whether you're if you're more used to reading words for the traffic news, then I guess it's not that hard. But for me, it seemed like this passage is harder than the last one. So take a look. And when you're taking a look at the passage or passages, it's better to say it aloud because it's not the same. When you're just reading it with your eyes, you're just looking at the words, shape of the words. But when you're reading, not aloud, but trying to shape your mouth similar to pronouncing the words, you would realize that some pronunciations are harder than the others. Okay, so try to say like, good evening, I'm Lindsay Faye, and welcome to. That's the same while you're getting ready to read. Like you're given that preparation time, right? So just don't just sit there, read to yourself in your mind, but try to read aloud. You don't have to be really big and noisy, but you can sort of like mumble, or you can just sort of like make a very low tone sound, low voice, like small sound sitting there. And in my case, I don't read aloud during the preparation time because the people there, the people who are watching you during the test like session, they would come and tap you on the shoulder saying, keep it low, keep it low. Because, we're taking the test all together in one room and you don't want to distract the other testees. So I think it's like a manner, right? So not to like raise up your voice too much and try to lower your voice so that you wouldn't distract other people, but do make sound when you're getting ready to read, okay? All right, so I'll read the passage for you once. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Faye, and welcome to Channel 12 Local News for the latest updates on our city's reconstruction plans. These projects involve the repair and expansion of roads, bridges, and public transportation. Please stay tuned for further updates on the progress of these projects and their impact on our community. Okay, again, we see a name here. Lindsay Faye. And when we see this word, the name Lindsay, some might read this as Lindsay, right? Lindsay. But actually the word is Lindsay. The name is Lindsay and Lindsay Faye. And welcome to Channel 12. That's not 20, it's 12 Local News. For the latest updates on our city's reconstruction. That's a long word there. Now here's a trick. When you see a word ending with T-I-O-N, the stress always comes on the vowel right in front of T-I-O-N, okay? On the syllable, the vowel in the syllable right in front of T-I-O-N. So it's got to be reconstruction. Same goes with the word expansion. The case is similar with the words ending with S-I-O-N as well. So expansion. And we see the word transportation, also in front of T-I-O-N, T-A, that A needs to have the stress. It's transportation. Okay, and please stay tuned for further updates on the progress. Now, I see the word progress and project. For Americans, in American English, the O for progress and projects, we open up our jaws right here, and then we would say progress and project. But I've noticed that Canadian people would say progress and project. Well, it's not only about Canada and America, but it depends on what part of the world are like using your English or you've learned your English. But that O sound can be different. It could be either progress, which is a little bit harder because most Koreans, they tend to hesitate when they have to open up their mouth speaking English. So they would have a hard time saying progress or project. Touch your jaw and see whether it opens up or not. Progress, project, right? Or if you feel uncomfortable, just say progress or project. I think that's how they say it in Canada. Okay, so those two words and the last word, community, the stress goes on the vowel U, community. And as always, please do remember that the stress always happens on a vowel. It never happens on a consonant, okay? It's going to be the vowel that has the stress of the word. Okay. All right, so I'm going to read it again in two different versions. And first version is a slower version. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Faye, and welcome to Channel 12 Local News for the latest updates on our city's reconstruction plans. These projects involve the repair and expansion of roads, bridges, and public transportation. Please stay tuned for further updates on the progress of these projects and their impact on our community. Okay, so that was my slower version. And here goes the faster one. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Faye, and welcome to Channel 12 Local News for the latest updates on our city's reconstruction plans. These projects involve the repair and expansions of roads, bridges, and public transportation. Please stay tuned for further updates on the progress of these projects and their impact on our community. Okay. But don't force yourself to read too much, okay? I always tell you guys, it's never good to make mistakes because you want to read too fast, okay? Just try to slow down. It doesn't matter, all right? It doesn't matter, as long as it's not really too slow like this, okay? I think just okay speed and no mistakes would be better in order for you to achieve better level or score. Okay, so that was Pikachu, we have the volunteer session towards the end. Yes, you want to volunteer? Wait until the end of the show. Yes, I'm going to cover the questions first, and then we're going to have you guys answer these exact questions during that, feedback time. So stay tuned until towards the end of the show. It's going to start around like 9:30. It's going to start around 9:30. Don't worry. Okay, now we're done with part 1. So anybody who's going to be reading part 1 during that feedback session, it's going to be either the first one or the second one that I just showed you guys. Okay, now moving on to part 2, your favorite. We had a hard time looking for these pictures. It was really hard to find something similar to the one that appeared on the test. But anyhow, actually what we wanted to do is we wanted to find a picture looking like this, but with people like looking forward, not showing their back. But we always tell you on our live show, any content that we're using on our channel, it's all been created by me, and we're paying for these pictures. We're buying these pictures from the website that sell pictures. So we have all the copyrights for them. But anyways, it was really hard to find a picture with people facing forward. So yeah, this is what it is. But you're gonna have to use the same verbs that I wanted you guys to use. Anyways. So come up with the words that you would like to use. Please show me the words in our chat room. And while you guys are there, please press the like button. Please press the like button so this video can reach more people out there in the world. We are reaching people in Brazil, in Taiwan, Vietnam, Thailand, and also Japan, in Korea, of course. So we would like to reach more people globally, okay? So please press the like button. Like. Okay, so are you guys having a look at the picture? Let me know which words I shall use to describe the picture. Okay, I think obviously the picture has been taken in a park, right? And I always have students asking me, teacher, is it okay to say in a park, or is it better to say at a park? And I always tell you guys, it doesn't really matter, right? If we're saying at a park, it sounds more like as a location. We're talking about the park, at a park, at a park. But when you say this picture was taken in a park, it sounds like the people are inside the park, okay? So either way, it's the same thing for this picture. And UN, this is a picture taken on the street, okay? And there are 3 people. Really? There are? I thought there were 2. Where's the 3rd person? Okay, and I can see their back, right? That's how you can express the way that when you can't see their front. That's how you say I can see their back. On the right side of the picture, there is a woman. Actually, oh my God, are we looking at the same picture? Because the woman you're talking about, I think, is rather in the middle of the picture, isn't she? Yes, the dog is on the right side of the picture. You got to be a little bit, like more precise. You have to look at the picture objectively, not subjectively. I think you're like thinking the woman on the right, like there are two women, but more towards the right. That's like the woman in the middle of the picture, right? John Chu, Glenn, I'm from Taiwan and I got 160. I truly appreciate your help. Well, thank you. Well, I'm glad that my videos helped you a lot. Good. Teiji, there are two people and one dog. That's what I thought. I thought there were two people and one dog. Well, people can get, mistaken. Don't worry. And pink jacket. There's a woman in pink jacket walking with her dog. True. And there is a backpack on her shoulder. You can also say she is carrying a backpack, okay? You don't just say she has a backpack on her shoulders. Z. It requires S because there are two shoulders. But you say she has a backpack on her back. But normally you would say she is carrying a backpack. She is carrying a backpack. Okay, and on the right side, there's a woman walking her dog, okay? And Sean, this is a picture taken in a park, and there are two women and one dog. On the left side, I can see a woman with jacket, okay? What jacket? Both women are wearing jackets, I think. And she is biking? Oh, no, don't say biking. She's riding a bike. She's riding a bike. And there's a woman in pink jacket, and she's walking a dog, and I can see some trees with leaves. It seems like a sunny day. Okay. I noticed that Sean, you've said most of the picture, but if you want to fulfill 30 seconds, you've got to have a different approach. Okay. You need some kind of a strategy to fulfill that 30 seconds. And right now, looking at your answer, I think you're going to have a little hard time filling up 30 seconds. Okay. It depends on the speed of your talking, but if you speak fluent enough, I think you might have like 7 seconds remaining in the end. In my case, it would be like a little bit too small, too short. So I recommend, guys, if there are 3 or less people, 3, meaning including 3, 1 or 2 or 3 people in the picture, make sure to describe each person separately at a time. Meaning, first start off with maybe the woman on the left side. Talk about her outer looks, talk about what she's doing, and then move on to the next woman, okay? Talk about her hair color, talk about her outfit, and then talk about what she is doing, and then talk about her dog and the trees. And, as always, when you have time remaining in the end, you can say maybe they are going somewhere, or maybe they're having a good time in the park. That's how you wrap up an answer. 노잉님, 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Yes. Thank you for coming. Okay. I think a lot of people around the world now knows that in Korean, you have to say 안녕하세요 when you say hello to Korean people. Okay. All right. So if I were you, this is how I would say my answer. Look at my answer. Step-by-step answer. This is a picture taken at a park, and there are 2 people in this picture. On the left side of the picture, there's a woman, and she's wearing a jacket, she's carrying a backpack, and riding a bicycle. Oh, with her baby. And next to her, there's a woman, and she is wearing a pink jacket, and she's carrying a backpack, and she is walking her dog. In the background of the picture, I can see lots of green trees and lampposts, and maybe they're having a good time in the park. Oh my gosh, hold on a second. I have to check the picture here. Oh, okay. So now I'm looking at a bigger version of this picture, and I've found out the reason why. Oh, Hung In-Yuan said there are 3 people. Actually, there were 3 people. Taiji, there were not 2, there were 3. But there's a little baby there behind that woman. I haven't noticed. Sorry about that. And as I was describing the picture, looking at her closely, I was like, oh my God, that's a person there. There's a baby behind that woman. Okay, So I said she's riding a bicycle with her kid, with her baby, okay? And as I see the bigger version of the picture, I can tell that there are yellow flowers on the ground. And I said two of them are lamp posts, or you can say light posts, okay? Light posts, lamp posts. So I said the first woman first, and then I moved on to the second woman, and then I also talked about her dog, and then I talked about things happening in the background, and then I wrapped it up. That's how I did it. Okay, and that's how you should do it too. That's a strategy to fulfill your 30 seconds. You know, I've been practicing with a lot of people recently because towards the end of the year, some, companies require their employees to submit their TOEIC speaking levels if they want a promotion or if they want a bonus at the end of the year. And a lot of people want to do that, right? So I've got some requests from Korean students that they want some private tutorings from me. So I've been, teaching them. And while I was teaching them, I've noticed that people were having a hard time getting the right answer, good answer, perfect answer for part 2. Considering part 2 being rather an easier part compared to part 3, 4, 5, I was a little shocked. Not too much shocked, but a little bit surprised. So, guys, there is a strategy for this part. And the strategy is, make sure to just have a very bold line. There's going to be a line between two groups of pictures. One is three or less number of people. So it's 1, 2, 3 people. So for those pictures, you approach by talking about the person's location, and then you talk about what they are wearing, and then you talk about what they are doing, one by one. And then if there are 4 or more people in the picture, now that's a different story, okay? Let's see if we have a picture like that. Ooh, we do. Okay, so in this picture, now we see 4 people, right? I want to be sure. Yeah, this time it's 4 people for sure. And if we have 4 or more people, you need to group the people, okay? In this case, obviously, I think all of you would group them into 2 groups, right? Put them into 2 groups, the man and the woman on the left side, and the man and the woman on the right side, right? And looking at them, well, share the words that you want me to use in my answer. But looking at these 2, I think couples, okay, the couple on the left, I think they're just relatively new couple. They're new, getting used to getting to know each other, and they're having a good time, enjoying their date. But the couple on the right, I think they're more like an old couple. It's been a while since dating, right? So they're bored for having each other as a company, and they're not even talking to each other. They're using their phones. Yes. Well, you don't have to tell a story when you're describing a picture. It's unnecessary, okay? You're not required to anyway. It's called describe a picture, right? So all you got to do is talk about the facts, the things that are actually witnessed, seen in the picture. So don't create a story that which I was doing here. And are these Patron tequila bottles in the background? I think they are. Oh, don't they look like Patrons? The tequila Patrons in the background? Well, anyway. Okay, so I see the salt and pepper shakers. That's what they're called. But if you do not know the words, you don't have to mention them, right? I see the wine glasses. I see some plates and dishes. That's what you can say. And that's that. Okay, so let's have a look at what you guys are saying. Okay, so this is a picture taken in a luxury restaurant, is what Yung is saying. There are 4 people. On the left side, I can see a couple, right? You can say either there are 2 people or there is a couple, right? And they're enjoying their meals. While the man is eating, Fyong said, the woman is looking at him and smiling. Wow, this is a very lovely answer. Just by reading this answer, it makes me feel really happy. And next to them, there's a man and a woman. And Fyong, you didn't mention that they're a couple, huh? And they're using their mobile phones. There are some dishes on the table and maybe they're having a good time. Okay. Fyong, it seems like your answer is pretty good. Yeah, I'm just like worried that it could fall short. It could end around like 23 seconds, 25 seconds if I say this, but I think your answer is good enough. And if you have any time remaining to fulfill, then maybe you can talk about the background. Remember, there are some bottles displayed, right? And hung in the background, I can see many trees. Oh, okay. I think you're a little bit behind us. We're talking about the second picture. And Soo-hyun Kim, I think the man is taking her food on her without permission. You think so? No, I don't think so. Then why would the woman be smiling like that? I mean, if somebody steals somebody steals my food, I wouldn't be smiling like this. She is looking at the man with this lovely smile. Okay, well, that was really funny. All right. Yeah, the couple, basically, they're not doing anything. They're just using their phones, mobile phones. So we can't say much about them. And oh, yeah, we can talk about they're using their forks, right? Forks. Because if they're using chopsticks, I think you guys would mention that they're using chopsticks, right? And these people here are using forks. I think it's either French or maybe Italian. I'm not sure. Yeah, but they're having some Western food with wine, of course. Okay. And this is a picture, Sean says, of a bistro. Okay, of a bistro. There are 4 people, and in the foreground, there are a man and a woman sharing some food. Maybe they are a couple. In the background, there are 2 people looking at the phones. Also, I can see some wine shelves behind them. Are they wine shelves? Okay, well, you can say. This picture was taken in the restaurant. I can see 4 people and they're having a meal together. In the foreground, I can see a couple. They're eating together. She's like, man, it's like if you're going to Sue, Jay, you're not the same person, so it doesn't relate. It seems like a man, M-A-N, is handing out his food. Okay, so if you're handing out your food, it means like you're giving out the food to lots of people, not to one person. So if that's what you're trying to say, he's just giving his food to the woman is a better way of describing that part of the picture. Okay, and hung. This is a picture taken at a restaurant and there are 4 people. And in the background, I can see a couple sitting. A woman is smiling and chopping her food. Chopping, like when you're chopping something, it's more like you're cutting something bigger, okay? Chopping with like power like this, it's like chopping. So I think she's cutting her food. Okay, guys, the sound has been disconnected for a moment. Is it okay? Can you guys hear me? Let me know. The sound has been disconnected for a while. That's the feedback that we're getting. So guys, let me know if I have been disconnected, if you couldn't hear me for a while. Okay, and many people are enjoying their dinner. They are smiling brightly. In the background, I can see another couple and they are looking at their smartphones on the table. I can see many food. Actually, when you're mentioning food, it's uncountable, so you can't say many food. It's got to be many kinds of food or many kinds of dishes. And maybe they're having a good time together. Okay, maybe it was just like a personal connection thing. Okay. All right. Hey, so now I'm going to give you my answer for this picture here. Second. Now, this is a picture taken at a restaurant, and there are 4 people in this picture. On the left side of the picture, I can see 2 people. One of them is a man, and he is picking up some food using his fork, and one of them is a woman, and she is looking at the man and smiling. On the right side of the picture, there are two people. One of them is wearing glasses, and both of them are using their phones and maybe waiting for their food. In front of them, there are many kinds of food and wine glasses, and maybe people are having a good time. Okay, now, I was able to mention the wine glasses as well, so I did describe plenty of the picture, but I spoke pretty fast, I think. So guys, if you guys do not have enough time to talk about the objects aside from the people in the picture, you don't have to. I always talk about that, right? Focus on describing about, talking about the people, describing what people are doing, describe what people are wearing. And I mentioned something that the guy on the left side, he's picking up some food using his fork, is what I said. And the woman is looking at him and smiling, like you guys told me to say. And on the right side, I mentioned that one of them is wearing glasses. I wanted to be a little bit specific. I want to provide more detail. So those are some things that I added to my answer. And when the reader hears my answer, they would say, oh, this person knows how to be more descriptive, how to provide more detail. And that is how you get higher score. Okay? So that is one of the strategies for part 2, like trying to describe more details about the elements in your picture. Okay, and so there is a pepper shaker, not only a pepper shaker, the salt and pepper shakers, right? Okay, so that was part 2, and let's move on, guys. Let's move on to part 3. Says here, imagine, yes, an English newspaper company is conducting research for an article and you have agreed to participate in a telephone interview about your daily commute to work or school. So this is a very common topic that's been asked in part 3 multiple times, and about your commute to work, either work or to your school. It doesn't have to be both, right? Because there are some people who are working for the companies taking the test, okay? And there are also students who are getting ready to get a job or who needs TOEIC speaking scores to graduate. So they know that there are people who are working and also there are students taking the test, okay? So just talk about your situation. And the first question is this: what time do you usually leave for work or school, and do you always depart at the same time? Okay, so it's talking about the hour, talking about the time you leave, specifically when you leave, and you always depart at the same time. Okay, so share your answers with me. Now, if you talk about me, if somebody asked me this question, if I were to say my answer for this question, I would say, actually these days I'm working from home. You don't say working at home, but you would say working from home. That's the preposition that you have to use. I'm working from home. It's a long story, I always used to go to the institute in the morning, like my 7 o'clock morning classes were like the first classes. Then in order to be there on time, I had to wake up at 5:30 and then leave my home around 6 and then blah, blah, blah. But that's like a long time ago story. So I'm quite happy about that. And these days, I'm working from home. So I don't leave home unless I have to go to my lab. And I go to my lab at least 3 times a week, at least. And this week I've been there already 2 times, I think 3 times. And tomorrow I'm also going. I always have lots of like on-site classes on Saturdays. I have full day of classes on site on Saturday. So I have to be there by 8. So tomorrow, my first class starts at 9:30, so I try to be there early. I'll be leaving around 7:45, 8, something like that. And then on Saturdays, I usually depart at the same time, but depends. But if I have to go to my lab, I always leave at the same time, I think. Depends on which day of the week. Like for Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's a different story. And for Saturdays, it's always 8. So it depends on which day of the week. Okay, so let's see what you guys want to say. You guys didn't say anything. You guys were just listening to me. 뿅. I usually leave my house at 7 a.m. to go to work. However, some days I wake up late. Okay, now, when you look at a question, when you get a question for part 3, you have to decide which tense to use, which tense they want you to use. You have to realize that. Like, for example, when this question was appeared on the screen, what time do you usually, you see the word usually, and the second question, do you always, like usually and always, this relates for this, these questions are asking for you to use a present tense, okay? Because this is something that you're doing all the time. That's happening over and over again. Any things that are like habitual, that happens over and over at the same, like, you know, time or whatever, then that's present tense. Okay? So you're going to be cautious about which tense to use. So I would say I usually leave my house at 7, and however, some days I wake up late. If I wake up late, I depart at 7:30. Okay, so both sentences should be used in present tense. You should have used present tense. Them. Well, I usually leave for work at 7 a.m. every day. I think it is very difficult to depart at the same time. Sometimes I can depart early. Sometimes I leave my home late because of my personal work. Okay. Yeah. So because of my kids, some people say, and because like you wake up late and then, you know, like when you have those like corporate dinners, sometimes it happens during the weekdays, right? Then you drink a little bit. In Korea, normally we do. And then if you drink on weekdays, the next day, you have to like, you sort of like, you wake up later, right? So it could happen. So from time to time, if it doesn't happen all the time, you could say from time to time, or once in a while, or once in a blue moon is how you could express that like way of happening. Sean, I usually leave for work at 6:30, and normally I leave at the same time with the time difference within 10 minutes. Okay. But then you could say I leave around 6:30-ish, ISH. And in spoken English, we say ish to say something similar or about like 6:30, okay? So I leave for work at around 6:30, or you could say I leave for work around 6:30-ish, at 6:30-ish, okay? Or you could say no later, earlier or no later than 6:40. 흥구엔. It depends on the situation. If I have lots of work, I need to work overtime. Otherwise, I usually leave for work at 6 p.m. All right, 흥유엔. I think you got like the wrong, you didn't understand the question correctly. It's not about when you leave the office. It's not about when you leave the office. When the question said leave for work or school, it means when do you leave for school or work from your home, okay? So it's asking for the time that you go to your work. The question is asking for your time that you go for work. Go to work. Paula, I always leave my house at 5 p.m. because I work at night and my job is so far from my house. So far from my house, you're leaving, you don't have the preposition there. And Fang, I usually go to school 10 minutes before the class because my home is pretty close to school without the. And I always depart at the same time since I have the same timetable every day. That totally makes sense. Okay. So, if you guys are like late for something, it wouldn't happen all the time, right? So you could say sometimes or rarely I am late for school because I, oversleep or I wake up late, then I would leave a little bit later. Okay, is how you could say that if that happens. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the next question. The second one is, when commuting to work or school, do you prefer to drive or take public transportation? In America, a lot of high school students, they drive to school, right? But that's not the case in most of the Asian countries. So in Korea, I think some college students would drive, but it doesn't really happen that often in Seoul area because as always, the big cities, the traffic is really, really terrible and it's really expensive to drive a car. I mean, you have to pay for the insurance as well as the gas, and also the parking is crazy. Like if you want to park for a day somewhere in Seoul, it's gonna be around, I think at least $30 for a day. And that's like if you ask to park throughout the day. But if you're going to park there for like short limited like period of time for maybe like 1 hour, I think they're going to still charge you $10. Yes. So it's pretty hard to maintain a car. It's really hard to afford a car in Seoul. So yeah, it's much better to take public transportation. And I always tell you, and I always tell my students that I always drive my bicycle. I always ride my bike everywhere. I mean, like I live really close to my house and the office. And I'm really lucky because it's only about like 30 minutes ride by my bike from my home to my office to the lab. So yeah, I've had my bike for more than like 12 years, I think. And I paid about like $500 at that time, and I still have it. And I'm so like, I really love my bicycle. I think it's so strong and durable. I think I can like keep it for as long as I want. I don't think I would have to change my bicycle unless I want something fancier. But for me, both of them are not my choice. Like I don't drive and I don't take public transportation, but I mean, if I have to, I think this is like a habit that that's been created since like COVID, because like, you know, during COVID, we don't want to be in like any crowded space. So starting COVID, I started to walk to my lab. If there are times that I cannot take my bicycle for like, you know, on snowy days or on a rainy day, then I prefer to walk actually to my work. Yes. And it still takes only about like 15 minutes. It's not a long walk, like 15 minutes. Yes. And after walking back and forth, the walking count, it's still not 10,000. Yeah, so 10,000 walks, like they say, if you want to stay healthy, you have to take 10,000 walks, right? So back and forth walking, it's about like 8,500 walks. So I like to walk from and to from my work, but if you are given to choose one, in this kind of question, I always tell you guys to say, it depends on the situation. Right? It depends on the situation. If there are not many cars on the road, then I prefer to drive. But if there are too many cars on the road, like especially during the rush hours, then I prefer taking public transportation. Could be a way to approach this. Okay, so I'm waiting to see some of your answers. Go the okay. It's really hard to read some of these Vietnamese names. I really wish to learn how to read your like English, the way of reading your names, because I've got a lot of like Vietnamese viewers here. I prefer to take public transportation to school because it's cheaper. For example, it just costs me about $1 per day to commute, and moreover, public transportation helps protect our environment. That's right. And Cindy Fu, I prefer to take public transportation to work in order to arrive at my workplace on time. And Hung Yuan, I prefer driving to work. There's a lot of vehicles during rush hours. By riding a motorbike, I can avoid traffic jams and it's so convenient. That's right. In Taiwan and Vietnam, I know a lot of people are riding their motorcycles, right? Motorbike. I prefer or scooters. Yes. I prefer to take public transportation, Them says, especially I always go by bus. I think it's very safe and convenient when you have a long distance travel. I feel so tired and I don't want to drive myself. That also is a very important factor. Yes. When you're driving for hours, I mean, it's not a long distance, but sometimes you get stuck in traffic and you have to be in a car for maybe longer than an hour. Then it's crazy. I mean, I don't even drive a car, and that's crazy just to be sitting on the passenger side of the seat. But like when you're driving, oh my gosh. Yeah, all that stress. Okay, so that was the second question. Now, moving on to the third. Here it goes. Would you consider carpooling for long distance travel? Why or why not? Carpooling. Okay. Carpooling. Would you do it or not? I mean, I think there's an app dedicated for carpooling. Yeah. So I believe so. There's an app. Like people would share a car. Like if they work or live in the same area, then like they would like split the cost to like somebody would drive the car, but everybody else would be splitting the cost. I think that's a very good idea. Yeah. Carpooling, but for long distance, actually, I have a personal experience regarding this question myself. And you know, last month, it wasn't last month, it was this month, I think. There was the Korean Thanksgiving's holiday, and I had to go to another region called Ulsan, which is the southern side of Korea. It's near Busan, if you guys know Busan. And I had to go there, and normally I would take a flight, but I wasn't able to book a flight earlier on. So I was, you know, there were no tickets available. And my brother had to go there, and my sister-in-law, his wife had to go there. So we all decided to carpool because my brother has a car, and, you know, if he drives, then like I could just like take a seat in the back. And actually, personally, I don't like to ride his car because the backside of his car is a little bit too like it's not spacious, it's a little bit smaller. Okay, so I really feel very uncomfortable when I am riding in the back of his car. But actually there were some good things about sharing a car this time. Well, first of all, well, we were able to save the cost, I guess. Yeah, eventually, because three of us, if we take a flight, it would cost us $100 each way, which would be $200 round trip times three would be around like $600 for all three of us to take a flight, right? But then we took a car. Of course, he uses up gas. His car uses up gas, so he had to pay for the gas and everything. But anyways, he told me that it, you know, cost less than, you know, taking the flight. So eventually we were able to save the cost. But other than that, you know, it was a long distance travel. We had to ride a car. He had to drive for like 5 hours. And that's the reason why I like to take a flight. It's only like 45 to 50 minutes flight. Yes. But anyways, and while driving, like we were talking nonstop, and we were talking about all things that were happening in our lives, and like time went by really quickly, and we arrived there. There was no traffic, fortunately, and we were able to arrive there on time, the time that we, you know, told our parents that we'll be arriving, and it was more fun. So yeah, I would consider carpooling for many reasons, but first of all, if I know the people in the car. I mean, if you do not know those people in the car, I think it would be very uncomfortable. Well, you guys might be having conversations to get to know each other, and you might make some friends. But if they are strangers, I think it would be a little awkward. So I wouldn't prefer carpooling with strangers. But if it's my family or friends, I would definitely consider carpooling because it's more fun. That's basically the reason why for me. Okay, and says Gu Yuan Fong, I would consider carpooling for long distance travel because it saves me time and money. By sharing the fares with others, I can save a lot of money. By sharing the cost. And Gu Fang, moreover, I can reach my destination faster by using a car instead of taking a bus or train. I also can interact with other people during my trip, and that's why I think so. Yes, you've got a lot of good reasons there and everything that I also mentioned. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Wonder if others also have any answers for this question. Ellie, I prefer to drive to work. Okay, now she's talking about the first question, I think. No, the second question. Mm. And Hung, everything is expensive. I need to save money for other things such as raising my children, paying electricity and water bills. Oh, yes, that's true. Paying for taxes. It's incredibly expensive to live in a country, right? Like the country is charging you, like taxes charged by the country, right? I could use transportation fee instead of cost. Yeah, but fee and cost, they're uncountable. They're normally uncountable. So we can share the fee, we can share the cost, we can share the money, right? They're all uncountable. Yes. Okay. This is what I hate about bangs. Like sometimes these like little pieces of hair, they get in your way. It's annoying. It's pretty annoying. And like my hairstylist, I told her to cut like my bangs shorter, and she's like, no. You haven't seen those like K-pop stars these days? They have longer bangs. She's like, it's gonna be like between your eyebrows and eyes, and this is the length that she made me have. It's really so annoying. That's why on the normal day I would have a hairband on. I could just like pull up my hair bangs. Loanne, absolutely yes, because carpooling helps me save money when sharing a car. Passengers share fossil fuel cost, toll or fee, so I can cut costs. Moreover, we can take turns to drive, so it's not tiring. True, unless people like me. I know, it's a long story, but I don't drive. I used to have a driver's license, but it expired and I never renewed it. I never decided, I thought about getting a new license. Everything is expensive. I need to save money for other things such as raising my children, paying electricity and water bills also. It's the best way to reduce stress when I'm not driving. Cindy Fu, I would choose carpooling when I want to share traffic costs, but it's sometimes really hard to make a good choice because we need to get along with someone who is a stranger. That's what I'm saying. Like if I have to ride a car like for 10 hours, well, in Korea, the longest would be like 6, 7 hours with a stranger. I think that would be so uncomfortable, especially when you're sitting next to that person in the backside of the car. I mean, that's going to be totally like, I wouldn't want that. I'd rather pay a little bit more to be more comfortable. Okay, so those were the 3 questions, and let me show you my answers, my timed answers. Okay, so the first question. What time do you usually leave for work or school, and do you usually depart, or do you always depart at the same time? Well, I normally leave for work around 8 a.m. if I have to go to the office. And normally I always go to the office on Saturdays. So on those days, I always leave at the same time. But other than that, I just work from home. So I don't have to go out. Okay. And the second question, when commuting to work or school, do you prefer to drive or take public transportation? Well, that is a good question. And actually, it depends on the situation. When there are not many cars on the street, then I prefer to drive. But if there are lots of cars, like during rush hours, I prefer to take public transportation because I can avoid traffic. Okay, and last question, 30 seconds. Would you consider carpooling for long distance travel? Why or why not? Actually, yes, I would consider carpooling for long distance travel because I could save a lot of money if I carpool. And in Korea, it's really expensive to take a plane, ride a plane, or maybe take a train. But if I carpool, I can share like the gas fee and the toll fee with the people that are taking the car together. So I think it would be better. And also, it would be fun to ride a car with other people. So definitely yes. It's something that I didn't even want to say, but I just had to say that. I don't know why my answer went that way. Okay, we can share, I said we can share the cost. We can share the cost for the gas and the toll fee, Toll, You know, like when you're using the highway, expressway, you have to pay money. Those are called the toll fee, Toll, toll fee. Okay, so that was part 3. And here we go, part 4. Take a look at the chart. It's the interview schedule. I think we've seen interview schedule thing so many times this year. I think at least 4 times this year we've seen the interview schedule. So you guys should know how to deal with this by now, right? But as always, on the top, it says the company's name, Philips Enterprises, has an interview, and it's going to be held on Tuesday, May 13th, and it's held in the main conference room. And always there's the name of the interviewer on the top. It says Elizabeth Craig. It's not an important thing, but, she's going to call you anyways. And from 9:30, 10, there's Harry Rink, who's the applicant and applying for marketing manager position. And current job means he's right now working there, Prime Care Center. And 10:30, Julia McGuire, finance manager, and her current job is Tennessee Education. And at 10:30, you'll be interviewing, you being Elizabeth Craig, because she's going to call you, interviewing Macy Moore. And, the person is applying for the HR manager, and she's currently working at Volume 9 at 1 p.m. The applicant's name is Philip Kahn, marketing assistant, anchor advisor. 1:30 p.m., John Burnett, and applying for the IT technician position, and he's working at Creative Lab. At 2:30, James Watts. The name is James Watts. It's always very hard to read those names correctly. And he's applying for the marketing manager position, and he's currently working at Splash Media. And then at 3, you will interview Elizabeth Springer, and the position is executive secretary. That's how you read it, executive secretary. And the current job is anchor advisor. Okay, so right now I was just reading off the information there, but when you're answering, you have to be sure to put them in the right sentence orders, right? Okay, so the narration goes, hello, this is Elizabeth Craig, the HR director, and I was told that I need to participate in some interviews tomorrow, but I haven't received any updates regarding the interview schedule. So as my assistant, could you please answer some questions I have about tomorrow's interview? Okay, so it's not only one interview. Remember, there were many. Okay, so the first question is, what time is the first interview and who is the applicant? Okay, it's now your turn to share your answers with me. What time is the first interview and who is the applicant? Yeah, Ellie, you're right. A lot of people have a hard time pronouncing the names correctly. It's not an easy thing. No. What time is the first interview and who is the applicant? It's really hard to read the names, but you have to. That's your task here, right? I'm waiting for you guys to share your answers with me. Oh, okay, so Hyung, the first interview will take place from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and the candidate is Harry Rink, applying for the marketing manager position, okay? Because we're talking about a specific position that has been opened. That's why we have to put the in front of these position names for the marketing manager position. Okay, and the first interview starts, actually it's got to be will start, okay? This is something that will happen only one time. So the first interview will start at 9:30 a.m. and the first applicant name is Harry Rink. He is applying for this is in the process of applying for a job, so he is applying for the marketing manager position. Okay, according to the schedule, Them says, the first interview will start at 9:30 a.m. and the candidate is Harry Rank applying for the marketing manager position. So please keep that in mind. Guys, up until now, Them and Gu Yuan B has a right answer. His answer is grammatically correct and everything is fine. So refer to that answer there. And Ellie, the first interview will start. It's going to be will start. Okay. And he is applying for the something position. Cindy Fu, it will be Harry Rank. Okay. The marketing manager from Prime Care Center. He's not a marketing manager. He's applying for this position. Okay. I think you understood this chart wrong. Sean, the first interview will take place at 9:30 a.m. and Harry Rink is applying for the marketing manager position and she is now working for Prime Care Center. A perfect answer. Again, everybody, Sean's answer, S-E-A-N, Sean's answer is perfect. So take a look at his answer, please. And knowing, guys, you see that Korean name there, knowing, it will start at 9:30 a.m. by Harry Rink, okay? You got that part right. It will start at 9:30 a.m. But it's not by Harry Rink. Actually, the interviewer, Elizabeth Craig, is interviewing this person. She'll be interviewing Harry Rink. Okay? So guys, you have to understand the situation correctly. Okay? So the person who's calling is the interviewer. You know, the name mentioned on the top here, it says the interviewer, Elizabeth Craig, and she is asking for some information about the applicant. She's going to be meeting these people. She's going to be interviewing these people. So you have to say you will interview somebody. Duong, the first interview will start at 9:30 a.m. and the first applicant will be Harry Rink for marketing manager position. That is also good. That's also a good answer, Duong. Okay. All right. So I would say Sean's answer is pretty good. Yes. Take a look at the answer typed in by Sean, S-C-A-N. The first interview will take place at 9:30 a.m. and Harry Rink is applying for the marketing manager position. And actually, Harry is a guy's name, but you know, she is now working for a Prime Care Center. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Hey, all right. Now, moving on to the second question, guys, listen up. As far as I remember, I'm scheduled to interview a candidate for the HR manager position in the afternoon. Am I right? As far as I remember, I'm scheduled to interview a candidate for the HR manager position in the afternoon. Am I right? Okay. As far as I remember, I'm scheduled to interview a candidate for the HR manager position in the afternoon. Am I right? Give me your answers. Need blotting paper. My face, just can't stand it. It's getting greasier. Can you see that shine coming off? Oh, I feel cleaner. Oh my God. I feel cleaner with the grease off my face. I'm refreshed. I need blotting paper. Yeah, okay. Much better. Okay. Okay, so Fong, I'm afraid that you get wrong information. You got wrong information because the person already has the information. So you got wrong information. Macy Moore will be interviewed from 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. for the HR manager position. Please keep that in mind. Yeah, your answer is correct. Okay, will be interviewed, fine. And Ellie, no, you got wrong information. The interview for the HR manager position will start at 10:30 in the morning and the applicant is Macy Moore. Okay, manager position. You have to make sure that you put that word position in there. And Duong, I'm afraid you got the wrong information or you have the wrong information. Okay, it's got to be past tense because the person already has that information. We will interview Macy Moore at 10:30 a.m. for the HR manager position. Please keep that in mind. You have to put in the in front of HR. Hyung, let me check for you. Okay, let me check it for you, okay? It will start at 9:30 a.m. and you'll be conducting an interview with Harry Rink from Prime Care Center. His interest is in the marketing manager position. Young, overall, your answer is great, okay? Let me check for you or let me check it for you because she's already given some kind of an information to be checked. So you would have to say, let me check it for you. Them, no, maybe you remember the wrong information. I think it's better to say you got the wrong information. Because according to the schedule, you will interview the applicant for this position in the morning, not in the afternoon, and it will start at 10 a.m. Great. Love your answer. Sean, no, I'm afraid that you have the wrong information. The interview will take place at 10:30 a.m. and Macy Moore would be the applicant. Great. Again, Sean's answer. I think you know exactly what I would be saying, Sean. You got the words right out of my mouth. Yes. Knowing, no, actually, there is HR manager position interview from 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Now, knowing your answer is right, but I wouldn't say it in that way because it's a little bit awkward how you arrange those information. So refer to Sean's answer, knowing, okay? SEAN, Sean's answer. Please look at his answer, please. Cindy Fu, I'm sorry for your wrong information. Don't say I'm sorry for. Just say, I'm sorry, but you got the wrong information. Actually, it will start from 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Now, Cindy, it will start at 10:30 and it will finish at 11 a.m. So you can't say it will start from 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. It doesn't really make sense. It can't start for 30 minutes, right? So it will start from 10:30 a.m. and get rid of to 11 a.m. part. And her name is Macy Moore, who is from Volume 9. Hyun, I'm sorry, but you have the wrong information. It is scheduled to start at 10:30 a.m. and the applicant is Macy Moore. Please keep it in mind. Okay, again, I think Hyung and Guyen's answer is also great. It's a great answer too. And guys, remember, it's I'm sorry, but you have the wrong information, or I'm sorry you got the wrong information. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you the final question. The last question of the day is, not of the day, but for this part. Based on my previous experiences, individuals from Anchor Advisors have shown exceptional competence in their roles. Are there any candidates from Anchor Advisors scheduled for interviews this time? Okay, so the question may be long, but actually there are only like 1 or 2 words that you need to be able to listen to, okay? So based on my previous experiences, individuals from Anchor Advisors have shown exceptional competence in their roles. And are there any candidates from Anchor Advisors scheduled for interviews this time? Okay, we get a lot of this kind of questions. We've been getting a lot of these kind of questions, right? And, all you got to do is listen to the words Anchor Advisors. You don't even have to listen to Advisor. Just listen to Anchor. But I think you guys might think that the word is anchor, but no, it's anchor, A-N-C-H-O-R. Maybe that could be a little bit something that could cause a confusion, but it's Anchor Advisors. So when you hear the word anchor, maybe you would look for something with A-N-K. But I think you should be able to approach, the 2 kinds of information. It should be mentioned. Okay, so Ellie said, yes, we have 2 applicants from Anchor Advisors. One is Philip Ken. It's Philip Kahn, okay? And another name, Eliza Springer. Okay, now Ellie, or when you are talking about these 2 applicants, you got to give all the information related to each candidate, okay? Your answer cannot be that short. That's why your answering time is 30 seconds for this last question, okay? Gu Yuan Feng, there are two candidates from Anchor Advisors. The first one is Philip Khan, applying for the marketing assistant position, and he will be interviewed at 1 p.m. And the second one is Eliza Springer, and she will attend at 3 p.m. to be interviewed for the executive secretary position. Love your answers, Fong. Love your answer. Okay, and then actually there are two candidates from Anchor Advisors. The first person is Philip Khan. He's applying for the marketing assistant position, and his interview is from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Great. And Eli, Philippines, Ken's interview starts at 1 p.m. He applied for the position of marketing assistant. Philip Ken's, okay. Eliza Springer's interview starts at 3 p.m. Okay, Ellie, the information given here on this chart is for one-time use only, which will be happening in the future. That's why it is recommended that you use a future tense in order to introduce the information on this chart, okay? So this chart is asking for you to use a future tense, and the questions are doing the same. The questions are intending for you to answer in, future tense. Let's see. Are there any candidates from Anchor Advisors scheduled for interviews this time? Well, we're talking about something that's going to happen in the future. Yeah, of course, that's why we have to use future tense. Okay, then the second person is Eliza Springer, and she's applying for the executive secretary position, and her interview is from 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. That's all. Okay, the interview, of course, is from 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Well, for this part of your answer, it's okay to use present tense because normally when we give out information about time and location, like present tense is acceptable. But overall, for this part, especially this kind of chart, future tense, please. And Sean, there are two candidates available. And the first one is Philip Khan applying for the marketing assistant position. And the other one is Eliza Springer applying for the executive secretary position. But Sean, you didn't mention where they're currently working. And those two kinds of information should be included in your answer, okay? So make sure to talk about that part, about where they're working currently. And then if you have time in the end, you can always say, if you have any further questions, feel free to ask. Okay, so that was part 4, and I'm going to give you my answer for each question. Now, first question said, what time is the first interview and who is the applicant? The first interview will start at 9:30 a.m. and it'll end at 10 a.m. and you will interview Harry Rink, and he's applying for the marketing manager position. Please keep that in mind. Second question, as far as I remember, I'm scheduled to interview a candidate for the HR manager position in the afternoon. Is that right? Actually, you have the wrong information. You will interview a candidate for the HR manager position, and her name is Macy Moore, but the interview will start at 10:30 a.m. It won't be held in the afternoon. Okay, notice how when I was answering this question, I was being precise about that interview being in the morning, not in the afternoon. And lastly, based on my previous experiences, individuals from Anchor Advisors have shown exceptional competence in their roles. Are there any candidates from Anchor Advisors scheduled for interviews this time? Anchor Advisors, of course. Sure, there are two candidates. Well, first at, let's see, 1 p.m., you will interview Philip Khan, and he's applying for the marketing assistant position, and he's currently working at Anchor Advisor. And from 3 p.m., you will interview Eliza Springer, and she's applying for the executive secretary position, and she's also currently working at Anchor Advisors. So you have two candidates from Anchor Advisors. Okay, so I mentioned that the first person is working at Anchor and the second person is also working at Anchor Advisors. And I also, sort of like made an emphasis on that you have two people from Anchor Advisors. So I was being really clear that I know what you're talking about. I know what you've asked for, and that's why I'm providing this information. So I sort of reconfirmed that I do have a clear understanding of what the person said, what I was being asked for. And I keep on saying, okay, this is what you said, and that is what I'm saying. Am I being clear? So that's another strategy to get like higher score for this part, okay? It's not to say the least, but if you want to say the most for the questions given, I think it's better to reconfirm that you fully understood what you heard in the questions. Because for only this part, the questions only do not appear on the screen, right? They want to check whether you could fully understand the listening to English. Okay, now we're moving on to the last question. So Sean, you're asking, so even with the information provided by the question, I still need to emphasize again. If you replay this video later on, you can tell that I would say it's unnecessary. It's like this. When you are talking on those like customer service representatives on your phone, asking for some kind of help. Let's suppose you're calling an insurance company, or let's suppose you're calling a credit card company, or even a bank. They always try to reconfirm what you said by saying, oh, sir, you just said this, and this is what you were asking for, right? This is a tactic that you should use for this part. Yes, just try to reconfirm that you got the information correctly. And, if you want to reconfirm, you got to use words similar or exactly the same mentioned in the question. So it does show your listening skills or listening ability of English. Oh, I'm sharing a lot of tips here today. Okay. I think this is going to be the last day for you guys to see my bangs. Getting so frustrated. Okay, and the last question. Let's move on to the last question, guys. Is part 5. Okay. Do you agree or disagree that college students should actively participate in extracurricular activities such as playing sports, volunteering, and taking on internships? Give specific reasons and example to support your opinion. Okay, so the setting would be college. So when you guys were in college, even if you hadn't gone to college, just talk about the time that you might have been in the college, okay? Just imagine. You make things up for part 5, okay? You don't have to be honest. We're not talking about truth or false, right? We're not playing truth or dare. Just be creative is what I say to my students. Okay, just 30 more minutes, please, my hair. Okay. All right, and by the way, we've shared a link here, and please send your email to this link provided in the chat room. It's www.gwenleb.biz/feedback, and when you send your email address to this address, we'll be sending you a link, which it's an invitation for you guys to just click on and get into that secret room where you could, talk to me one-on-one and get my feedback. Okay. I do give I get lots of DMs. A lot of you guys have been DMing me about getting my help for TOEIC speaking, scores, how to get better, scores on TOEIC speaking. And if I provide any private lessons, I wish I could. I wish I could. We're trying to find out some ways to provide English classes. I'm sorry. I know we have a way, but I'm being lazy here. But anyway, I'm teaching my students in Korea, and I'm giving out private lessons or group lessons. But for international students, we do currently these classes are not available. So the only way to get my feedback is through this session. Okay, so send your email addresses, and I'll be giving you feedback about what you should do in order to improve your English to get higher score on TOEIC speaking. Do you also teach Korean in Korean? Yes, I do. 노잉님, 네, 한국어로 영어 가르쳐요. 저 한국어 잘해요. The person who's asking if I speak Korean and if I teach English in Korean. And yes, I do. My primarily, my classes, most of my classes are done in Korean. I primarily teach in Korean, but I've been planning for like almost 3 years to teach in English. I mean, I can, but it's that I've been a little lazy. I have to push myself. That's what you have to do. Go ahead. Okay. Fong, I strongly agree that university students should actively engage in extracurricular activities because of many reasons. And Fang, most of all, is really helpful. These activities will expose college students to new people with different cultures, knowledge, and perspective. Therefore, university students can learn new things from them. Second, by joining extracurricular activities, students are able to adapt to different environments, which will be helpful for their culture. And for example, I volunteered in Japan when I was a university student. I had a great chance to learn about their customs, try local food, and meet friendly friends. It opened my mind. I had so many memorable experiences, and that's why I think so. Okay, Fong, I really like your answer. Overall, the answer should be able to get you level 7, which would be AM. But if you want to get a higher score, okay, it's going to be longer. Yeah, the answer is going to be longer because it has to last for 60 seconds, right? It's got to be 1 minute long. And also, I see some words, like especially nouns, you don't seem to distinguish like countable nouns and uncountable nouns. For example, environment is uncountable. Okay? So those would be a problem, but overall, I really liked your answer. Yes. And Jong, I agree that college students should actively participate in extracurricular activities such as playing sports, volunteering, and taking on internships. And Jong, you don't have to like repeat the whole thing. And the question being too long this time, I think it's better to say, I agree that college students should actively participate in extracurricular activities and stop there. Okay? There are several reasons, and most of all, I think it's much necessary and helpful for students as a first experience to touching the real life. Touching the real life. Getting real life experience. Getting real life experience. Let's change it to that, okay? Oh, we have many people who want to participate this time too. Okay, so setting should be college. And you know, in college, we do participate in many different kinds of activities compared to our like high school years or middle school years. And you get to do many kinds of sports and you get to participate in club activities and volunteering too, and also the internship. Yeah, like college students, when they become like junior or maybe senior in college, they tend to like sometimes, some of you who are really interested in getting a job in corporate, are getting like experience in internships, doing internships. So I think everything is meaningful. Like those are things that you can do because you are young and you're still in college. So if I have any like students who are young and who are thinking about like, you know, whether they should get this kind of experience, like participate in these activities, or would it be like, you know, just wasting time, I would say it's a great experience. Yeah, I think it's much better to experience as many things as possible. Yeah, during your college years. So I would say yes. And the example that I would give is I would say actually I went traveling a lot. Yeah, I went traveling a lot in college, so I think that was a great experience. And I would say I wasn't working, I was just traveling, but I would say I was like a part of a club where we would go traveling abroad and doing volunteering work. Yes, that's what I would say. Okay, so we've announced the live session participants. They are Cho, Kwen, Ju, Cindy Fu, Tae-ji, Mars, and No Hyung-dun. Okay, so if you guys are there, you guys will be called. You guys will be getting an invitation after the session, after part 5. So stay there, and I'm going to get to you guys. Just wait, okay? Okay, I'm still waiting for your answers, your opinion about this question. Do you agree or disagree that college students should actively participate in extracurricular activities like playing sports, volunteering, and taking on internships? Ellie, yes, I totally agree with that. I believe that you can always get new experience and learn new things from something you have never done. That's good. 노영선, 형선. And participating in any kind of extracurricular activities can really give you new experiences, which is very helpful. So you may make new friends in that activities. Now, give me an example. Part 5 requires you to provide an example. If you do not provide an example, it wouldn't be long enough. You wouldn't be able to fulfill that 1 minute. And if you want higher score, guys, you have to talk until you get cut off. You get that pop off window saying stop talking. You just have to keep talking on and on and on and on and on. Okay, it's not only helped me. It not only helps me to learn a new sport, but also gives me a chance to attend to competitions. So I have many good memories about this. So I will say I am 100%. I agree 100%. Ellie, the verb in that sentence should be I agree. I agree 100%. Okay. Okay, so let me give you my answer, my 1 minute answer. What should I say? I haven't decided. Anyways, okay. So, well, I agree that college students should actively participate in extracurricular activities. And there are several reasons to support my opinion. And most of all, I think it's very, very helpful. For example, when I was in college, I was really, really busy because I had to take many classes. I had lots of assignments to do. I had to do lots of team projects. So I just focused on my, studies, and I became very selfish. But one day I, participated in this club, and this club, we had to volunteer. We had to do lots of volunteering work. So we were visiting many animal shelters to save the animals and help the animals. And while participating in this volunteering work, I learned how to be more caring about the animals and how to support these, little, little baby animals, and I was able to become more caring, a better person overall. And it was a great experience. I met lots of great people, and then I got cut off, right? But I was trying to talk, and I got to a point. I think I got through my point of saying, I participated in the volunteering activity, and I was able to become more caring because I started off saying, I only focused on studies, and I was very selfish and mean. And then I, participated in volunteering work, and I experienced lots of things. I met great people there, so it was great. Okay, so that's the answer that I came up with. Okay. So for any questions regarding your, school years, I always tell you guys to go with the before and after. Meaning before you were like a worse version of yourself. You're not a good person. In this case, I was only focusing on studies, and I was mean, selfish. And then the after version of yourself would be became a better person. You became caring, and you learn how to take care of other like animals and yeah, those kind of things. So before and after comparison would be a great way to make an answer for anything related to your student time. Okay? All right. Now we're going to move on to the next session of the live show. Before I do, let me blot I'm going to use the blotting paper. Can't stand it. I feel tangled in my own hair. God. At least these bangs got to be shorter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up another page, okay? I'm going to disappear for a moment, but I'm not actually disappearing. My voice is going to be here, and my voice is still going to be here. So you'll be listening to me, you'll be hearing me, but I'm just going to disappear with a frame in front of my face. So I'm not here, but I'm here. So don't worry, I didn't go anywhere. We're just trying to switch to another system so we can open up that secret meeting room where I could meet up with you guys one-on-one and give you the feedback, okay? So wait up, I'm here. You'll be seeing me soon. And I'm gonna have my earphones ready because I need to listen to your voices, lovely voices. Okay, I have it ready here. I'm still here, don't worry, I'm here. And we're gonna send invitation to the first person. Who is the first person? Oh, okay. TG, I'll be talking to you soon. Okay, so once you are invited and you enter the room, tell me which part that you want to do. You want to share your answers with, and I will give you feedback on what you say, okay? I think this is the most important part of the show because, when you look at the TOEIC speaking test, the actual test, and this video, there are a lot of people saying, oh, teacher, I said this, this, and that, and what score do you think I would get? And do you think I could get level 7 or level whatever? And it's really hard to tell with your written answers because, speaking is a different story. Speaking, needs, we're talking about pronunciation, how fast, it's not about fast the speed, but how fluent you sound, the linkings, and how natural your English is and everything, right? So the sound quality, sound aspects are very important when it comes to speaking. So I can't really tell how you could do on your test by looking at your comments. Okay, so if you really want to get feedback, if you really want to get a clear answer on why you can't get scores, I think it's really important to get feedback about your spoken English, not written English. Okay? So the first person would be Chao Kwan Ju, okay? And we sent an invitation to your email right now. So Chao, when you go to your email inbox, you should have received our invitation note. So click that link and you shall enter this room, okay? And I'm here waiting for you. I'm waiting right here. We're waiting. Please go check your inbox. Please go check your inbox. Oh, hello? Hello? Oh, you cannot hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Huh? Can you hear me or can you not hear me? Hello? Hello, I can hear you, but I think, hold on a second. Hello? Can you hear me now? You can hear me now? Okay, great. So could you please introduce yourself? Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. And why are you preparing for the TOEIC speaking test, Ali? Ah. Oh, okay. Okay, good. And your English is great. I mean, what's your goal? What level do you want to get? Mm-hmm. 16. So you need 160 or 170? Okay, all right. I think you should be able to get 160 in no time. Okay, so which part do you want to try, Ali? Okay, so we have the passage ready here. So this is the first passage. So if you're ready, once you're ready to read, start reading, okay? Mm-hmm. No, you don't have to. No. Okay. Ellie, can you hear me right now? Okay. Hold on a second. I think we're having a problem here with with my microphone. Hold on a second. The other viewers, I think they cannot listen to us. Hold on a second, Ali. I heard your reading. Don't worry. So guys, can you guys listen to me? Oh, you guys can't hear Ali's voice. Pikachu cannot hear Ali's voice. Okay. Guys, can you type in in the chat room whether you hear both of our voices or only me or only Ali's voice? Ali, can you speak up a little bit here? Ali, are you there?
Okay.
Okay, I think Ali's still
Hi,
there.
everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody.
Okay. It seems like Ali's here and I'm still here too. And wonder if you guys can hear us. Okay, Ali, I'm gonna have you read the passage once again so people could listen to you, okay?
Okay.
All right, so can you read the passage again?
One more chance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good morning and welcome to Danton Village. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the volunteers, organizations, and sponsors who have come together to make this event happen possible. Now, let's put on our work gloves, grab our tools, and show the world what the power of community can achieve.
Okay. Ali, your reading is great. First of all, it's great. You have a great pronunciation. And I've noticed a lot of Chinese speakers, they have great pronunciation compared to Koreans and Japanese. So your intonation, your pronunciation is great. And you know where to make stops for the meaning phrases. So delivery is clear. And the only thing that I want you to avoid is, don't make mistakes when reading the words like Denton, or when you were reading like event possible, you read something different, right? Or not on our
Mm-hmm.
work glove, but you said something different, right? So,
Yeah.
everything was great, Ali. I think you should be able to achieve level 7 160.
Thank you.
Okay.
I
But,
watch your show a lot.
oh, really? You've been watching a lot of my videos?
Yes.
And have they been helpful?
Yes, that's why I can speak.
Really? Okay. So when you're practicing and watching my videos are also one way to like get information about TOEIC speaking tests, but make sure to practice aloud, okay?
Okay.
All right. It was nice talking to you, Ali.
It's my pleasure. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for participating.
Bye bye.
Bye. Okay. Wow. It's really tough always to have this live going on and having people invited from different part of the world and have this like system work correctly. So everything's all set now. Everything's good. Okay. We are trying to find out if the system is working. Okay. Hold on a second, guys. The second person to be on the show would be Cindy Fu. We lost our mouse. We don't know where the cursor is. Oh, it came back. Came back. Okay. Now, we're gonna send the invitation to Cindy. Cindy, please check your invoice, your inbox. the mail inbox, not invoice. And we sent the invitation. So you should be able to click the link and enter the room. Okay. Hopefully everything would be fine through the rest of the show. Oh my gosh. This is it. We always have to be like very, it's not stressful, but we get nervous. Okay. Sangte, you got a lot of help from my channel. Thank you for coming. Cindy, please check your email, inbox. We sent an invitation. Oh, Cindy's here. Hello? Cindy, you have to turn on your mic. It seems like you have disabled your mic. You have to click that, mic button on the right top, upper right side. Your microphone is off, and that's the reason why I can't hear you. Okay. Okay, you have to check whether your microphone is on or not. Yes. We can tell from our side your microphone has been disabled. It's disabled right now. You have to enable your microphone. It's off. Okay. Well,
Hi.
oh yeah, Cindy, hello.
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you.
Okay, and where are you coming from? Introduce yourself to us.
Sure. I'm from Taiwan
Mhm.
and currently I work as a nurse in the hospital and I need the speaking score 160.
Okay. Is it because
Yeah.
you want to work in the United States or Canada?
Yeah, sure. I want to go to the United States.
Okay. I have a lot of nurse students who are preparing for, job
Wow.
interviews after passing the
Wow.
TOEIC speaking test. So soon you'll be those people, okay?
Thank you. I hope so. Thank you.
Okay, so which
Yeah.
part do you want to show me how you're doing?
I want to practice question 11.
Question 11. All right, so that's the last part. Okay,
Yeah,
so once I give you the question, I'm going to start the timer. And once you see the timer going down, you may start your answer, okay?
sure.
Okay, so do you agree or disagree that college students should actively participate in extracurricular activities such as playing sports, volunteering, and taking on internships? Give specific reasons and examples to support your opinion. Ready? Go.
Ready.
Mhm.
Okay. There is no doubt that college students should actively participate in extracurricular activities. There are several reasons can be discussed. When I was a student in university for many years ago, I attended to school society in our school. I met many amazing students in that group. I learned from them about how to deal with the problems and also obtain the useful information there. Then I finished my text after I had I got the tips and I knew I did a great job and that made me feel so achievement. Therefore, I'm in favor of participating um ex, extra curriculum activities to have a various way to get more valuable experiences.
Okay. All right. Cindy, before I comment you on your answer, did you write down anything to, give out this answer?
Yeah, I just practice it on the
Taking
paper.
notes? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. Cindy, do you
yeah.
have like stories that you already have that you could apply to the questions for part 5?
Yeah, I guess my colleague experiences, yeah, but it's the past time.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Um, your answer was good, but I'm sorry, but I think it's good for getting like level 140 or 150. And that is because part of your answers were a little bit hard to understand. And I
Okay,
suggest that you use easier words.
Okay.
so that you would have less hardship, or like it would be less harder for you to pronounce. And like for example, the word extracurricular, you had a hard
Yeah.
time, getting that word right. So I
Yes.
think using easier words so that you can actually say the words correctly would be
Okay.
helpful for you to achieve better score.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I always tell this to Korean students, don't use big words, because using big words wouldn't, ensure you to get higher scores. So
Oh.
having the other person understand your English is the most important thing. That's the key part of getting higher score.
Okay.
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 So overall, use easier words.
Thank you for your sharing.
Okay. Well, thank you for participating, Cindy.
Thank you. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Okay, so like I said to Cindy, I have a lot of Korean students who are always try to, like, they really want to use complex, structure of sentences, and there are a lot of students who want to use like those really hard words. And I always tell these students that you guys should, use easier words and not
Okay.
complicated sentences. So
Okay.
just remember, Cindy, don't use anything hard or
Okay.
complicated. Okay.
Okay, I will try and practice. Thank you for your amazing sharing. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you for
Thank you.
participating.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next person. Teji. Yes, finally Teji is going to be on the show. Teji, please go check your inbox. Yes, we sent the invitation note. Recently, I've been having a lot of students who are getting ready to, hoping to get a job in the U.S. as a nurse. And, in some parts of the U.S., not every state, but some states in the United States, they're accepting foreign nurses. And, getting speaking score is like the hardest part. And they have been accepting TOEIC speaking scores. So if you're a nurse and you're thinking about getting a job in the United States or Canada, like, you should be able to speak English, but TOEIC speaking can help you with that. Yeah. So that's why I know a lot of things about nurses. Yeah, I have some students right now who are currently actually getting ready for those interviews, because they have to go through agency interviews and they have to have like those hospital interviews, and I help them, make those interview answers and help them practice for them. And yeah, I already have 3 people working in Manhattan, New York. Okay. Well, Teji, we're waiting for you. Mm, we are waiting for Teji. Can't believe Teji is not coming. All right, I think we would have to move on to the next person, which is Mars. Okay, so Mars, we're sending you the invite just now. We've sent it to you. So please check your inbox and press the link, click the link, and you shall enter the room. Okay, we're waiting for Mars. And hopefully if Teji gets the invitation, he'll be here. And last person would be 노현선. 노형선. Yes. If KG doesn't come and Mars doesn't come, then 노형선님, you would be invited to the show. Yes. Okay. Did everybody leave already? No way. I'm still here, guys. I am still here. I'm still here. I'm using my blotting paper to get rid of this greasiness to look fresher. Okay. Okay. Jian Lim? Hello?
Hi.
Hello, Jian.
Hi, my English name is Mars.
Oh, you're Mars. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, Taiji, we're gonna wait for you're gonna have to wait for your turn, but stay there, okay? Don't go out of the room. We're gonna get to you. But Jian, can you introduce yourself to us?
Hi, my name is Jian and I am Korean and
Mm.
I got my TOEIC speaking score of 160 last month,
Mm-hmm.
and my goal is to get higher score next time.
Okay, so what's like your next goal? Like, is it 180 or do you want like highest score, which is advanced high? Which one do you want to get?
160 is level 7, right? So I
Right.
want to get higher level, which is
Oh,
level 8.
8. Okay, so you're looking for like 190 or 200.
Yes.
Okay, it seems like your English is pretty good. So how did you learn your English?
Um, in school, in Korean school,
Mm.
traditional English,
Mm-hmm.
I am good at reading and writing, but not speaking. So
No, you're good at speaking, it seems like. Okay. So I
yeah,
think through lots of practice, you should be able to achieve your goal. But, speaking, the only way to get higher score is to practice more and more. Okay. It's just like
okay,
reading. Okay. I think you've done a lot of reading throughout school years, and that's why you're good at reading. So
yeah,
if you do more practice for speaking, you shall improve. Okay.
okay.
All right. So which part do you want to work on?
Question 11,
Question
please.
11. Okay. All right. So we have the question ready here. And once I read the question, please start your answer when you see the timer go down. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So do you agree or disagree that college students should actively participate in extracurricular activities such as playing sports, volunteering, and taking on internships? Your turn, Jian. Go.
Okay, I agree that college students should actively participate in extracurricular activities. Because looking back to my experience, I had one internship in one company when I was in university for 3 months. Um, Actually, as a developer intern, I working in actual business was quite different from what I learned in school. So I decided to change my career as a chemist, which was my another major. And I am currently working as a chemist, and I'm happier now. And that is why I agree with the fact that college students should actively participate in extracurricular activities when they are in the university. I mean, college.
Oh my gosh, your English is very natural. And what
Yeah.
I could tell is, you must have had like some experience talking in English. Don't you have like some kind of experience, like
Uh,
having foreign like friends or things like that?
when I had 1 year participating in school in Canada, but it was
Ah,
like 15 years ago. So
mm-hmm.
yes, I forgot a lot. But
Mm.
you are my only TOEIC speaking teacher, and
Really? You know what?
yes,
Your English, I can tell that it's very natural. It's coming from like very naturally like spoken English. I mean, when you say I mean, it's a very good filler indicating that you are a high level speaker. And you didn't have a hard time talking about something very promptly. And I really like the part where you gave an example about your experience taking on an internship
yes,
and like learning something from that experience.
mm,
It's just that you weren't able to fulfill 1 minute of time, right? So when you're
oh,
practicing, make sure to time yourself. Make sure to check the timer and see whether you have spoken enough so that your answer would finish at that right moment when there's only 0 on the screen. Because
yeah.
you have to speak as much as possible. That's the thing required for
Oh,
this
that
part.
is hardest part.
That is
I got
hardest.
cut off last time.
Okay. So what you can do is you need to provide more detail. Like you can make up a name or talk about the name of the company, what position you're in, what kind of things that you did during the internship, and like people that you met and the skills that you learned. You can talk about more details, and that's how you fulfill your answer. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And when you watch some other videos, you can get some example answers of mine or other students. And through those examples, you can get more ideas about what to talk about in the answers.
Yes, maybe that I should I mean, that
Okay.
is the point. Yes.
Okay. But you know what? Your English right now, like the starting point is really high. I mean, 160, I think is just a starting level right now for you.
Um,
And I'm pretty sure if I were in your shoes, I would also aim for a higher score, which would be level 8. So I
oh,
think it's quite achievable for your case, in your case.
okay.
All right. Well,
Oh,
Jian, thank you for
yes.
participating in the live session, okay?
Thank you.
Hope to see you more often.
Yes.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so Taeji, what took you so long to come to the show?
예. 예. 들어오리모니까?
들립니다. 들립니다.
Okay.
But it's a little slow.
들어오리모니까?
들립니다, but it's a little slow.
예.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think the internet connection is always a little bit slower. So which part do you want to do, Taeji?
들어오리. Sorry. 예.
Okay, so tell me the part that you want to work on with me today.
Already.
Mm-hmm.
Part 4, please.
Part 4, sure. Okay, hold on a second.
Okay. Part 4.
Yes. I need to get the questions out. So hold on.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so part 4. First question, Taeji. What time is the first interview and who is the applicant?
The first interview will start at 9:30 a.m. You will interview Harry Link,
Okay, so you got
who is applying
everything.
for the marketing manager position.
Okay, you got everything in there. You have to be a little bit faster.
Okay.
Okay, you have to speak a little bit faster because I know that you know what you want to say, right? So you need to just speed up a little bit. Okay, the second question.
First, really?
All right. As far as
Okay.
I remember, I'm scheduled to interview a candidate for the HR manager position in the afternoon. Am I right?
Okay. No, you have. But interview a.m. So please keep that in mind.
Okay, so that was much better. You responded much quicker. Okay, so I think that was a much better way of answering. And of course, you got the answer right. And the last question, of course, is based on my previous experiences, individuals from Anchor Advisors have shown exceptional competence in their roles. Are there any candidates from Anchor Advisors scheduled for interviews this time?
Yes, there are 2 applicants. First, from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., you will interview Philip Kwan, who is applying for the marketing assistant. And next, from 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., you will interview Ed Springer, who is applying for the at Anchor Advisors currently.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
If you want to save a little bit of time talking about their current job, you can say both of them are working at Anchor Advisors. Okay. So instead of saying that part twice, you can just say simply in one sentence by saying both of them are working at Anchor Advisors.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the connection is a little bit slow. It's not responding right away. Like I think we're like not talking like real time right now. It seems like there's a bit of a lag, about like 30 seconds, I think. So it's it's lagging. It's not like really like done promptly. But anyways, thank you for participating in this show as always, Taeji.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh. Yes, I know. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yes, I'm worried. I will. Alright. Okay.
Okay.
가르치자.
Okay. Thank you
Get
for
it?
coming. Yes.
가르치자.
잘. Okay. 안녕히
Yes.
주무세요.
Alright.
곤방와. Yes. 네.
Alright. Thank you. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Okay.
Okay, and we're
Yes.
gonna send an
Alright.
invitation to our last guest. And by looking at the name, I think the person is Korean. It's 노현형성님. 노형선님. Yes. She's a newcomer. I'm pretty sure it's a she. Oh, okay. Well, she's not here. All right. So I think this is the end of the show. Yes, everybody. So, well, you know what? We've ran out of time actually. So I think we're gonna have to wrap up our show for today. And yeah, guys, thank you for coming on the show. And as always, our next show will be done on the last Friday of November, which will be the 24th, November 24th. So stay safe, be healthy, and please do come on the show last Friday of November, okay? Until then, take care, and I'll see you in November. Bye-bye.